This is me. As a drinks man, I've been lucky enough to travel the world pouring drinks and mixing cocktails for all sorts of people, and it's provided me with a really good living. But until recently, I hadn't had much time to explore my love of food, other than swapping cocktails and wine for kitchen secrets from some of the world's best chefs. So I made a few phone calls, packed my bags and camera, and set off on my own culinary adventure to discover my farming childhood roots, the food I grew up with. I like to call it green food, and this is the story of a generation of people who embrace it. Now, one might think that children are drowning in here, but in fact it's not. It's a pool of trout, and this is a trout farm. We're on Phillip Island in Victoria. And what's really interesting about this is that when these trout are gutted, the waste of these go into a compost. The compost then goes into a bush tucker farm with all native vegetation, and then that's sold through the front of house as well. So we're here to meet up with Paul from the bush tucker farm and Paul from Spice Island Cooking School to see how it's all used. Here we go, right, here we go, 1,000 trout and I've got one. Whey! That's got to be edible size. Here, kiss the fish. Dinner. Kiss the fish. Paul stocks his cooking school pantry with native Australian food ingredients, or bush tucker, hence the name Spice Island Cooking School. It's cultivated on a 5-acre farm on Phillip Island, 150 kilometres southeast of Melbourne. They're grown without herbicides, which make them ready for tasting straight off the plant. So what an incredible vision. I mean, this is what, a couple of acres of native bush tucker food, yeah?
Yeah, recreated with a bit of indigenous vegetation as well, Phillip Island indigenous vegetation. They grow in a little pod, not unlike a pea. The indigenous people would roast the peas or the pods on coals and eat them just as a cooked vegetable.
What do you call it again?
Well, this is a coast wattle.
Coast wattle.
And I'll pick a better one.
Oh, I've got some good mountain pepper here. So just straight in the mouth.
Yeah, it's really mild.
Native mountain pepper.
Just chew it away.
Really mild?
Yeah.
Oh God!
Have you ever tasted anything more peppery?
Dude, there needs to be a warning on that. This is crazy. That is eucalyptus menthol.
Yeah,
menthol,
yeah.
My gosh, that was the most powerful hit I've had in my mouth in a while. Even melted my earwax. It's like a boom. Holy moly, that's like strawberry perfume. What on earth do you use that for?
It's used in confectionery, flavouring sweets and that sort of thing. It's we use it in a herbal tea as well. Strawberry gum herbal tea.
I could use this tonight. I could make a syrup out of it. I was dying to see what Paul was going to prepare for his cooking class later that evening. My thoughts were on how I might be able to show this old dog a few of my new tricks in return for what was turning out to be a spectacular day. You don't stop from bloody 6 o'clock in the morning till God knows what time at night. And then you still have time for everybody to, you know, be the front man and teach everyone how to cook.
The irony is it was a change of lifestyle coming down here. That was the idea, was to come down and kind of slow down a little. We were fairly frantic in the city, same sort of thing. We were running a catering company that was quite successful. Rachel had her own career that was very successful. We had a son and we decided that we needed a change. So we sold everything we had in the city, and I guess we flipped a coin and came to live in our holiday home, which was here. I look at what we're doing now with all the businesses and we're way busier than we were in the city. And opportunities just keep coming at us. We want to try to teach people about food, and I think there's a bit of a lost generation out there. I think unfortunately people of our ilk, you know, the very first generation that potentially will pass away before their parents because of their dietary abuse, is the only way to describe it. I think we almost have an obligation to work with kids, and that's something that Rachel is particularly passionate about, hence the Cooking for Kids programs that we run. Yeah. And it's fabulous, but we still get kids coming in, and bear in mind we're in a rural environment here. We get kids coming through the classes. We ran one yesterday that have never seen, they don't know where an egg comes from. They think Coles supply these things and they just sort of come out of boxes.
Interesting packaging.
Yeah, absolutely.
His philosophies, I think, are shared by many people who love to cook, and Paul's enthusiasm for a healthy lifestyle was indeed rubbing off on me. With an appetite for adventure, it was off to discover his food and cooking school, where like so many before, have fallen in love with delicious local food using native Australian ingredients.
Welcome to Spice Island, everybody. It's all new faces here, some old faces, some new faces, but it's all new faces here. You're a new face here. We've been gathering today, so we've got some fantastic ingredients that we picked up on the island. So lots of indigenous plants that we're going to use in both the food and the drink that you're making.
Yeah, but what are you going to cook up first?
I'm going to start off with some quail. It's ready to go and that pan's really hot, so I can pull that down a bit. Then
Quail it up, bro.
Paul makes his daka using pistachio, sesame, coriander, cumin and a little native wattle seed ground down with olive oil, ginger and a generous helping of honey. And let's not forget that spicy native mountain pepper. Thrice fried quail was just one of the many tapas dishes he cooked on this culinary extravaganza, to which I matched a sangria using local native strawberry eucalyptus leaves, poached with a little cinnamon and sugar. Add a little local Shiraz, apple juice, and it's time to spice it up.
That's your base, and then to that, you're just going to put a little bit of rum. So with the rum, this is how I do the rum. Okay, right? Yeah. You ready for this? Hey, there's the one rum. Okay. That'll be for the ladies because that was like a double serve.
So suddenly my big city tricks made me feel like that trout swimming in the pond earlier that day. But I was also hooked on good food, good drinks, and wonderful company.
So Paul and I have done a little bit of a demo, a little bit of a cook-up of some tapas with some local products, and I did the little sangria. Yeah. Everyone seems to like that little number. But the party's going on, and what an education. And one day, was it the fresh air? Was it the local ingredients? Or was it just Paul's intoxicating personality? I don't know. But up to the eyeballs in it.